What is going on, powerful people? Today's video, we're going to talk all about that period in your transformation where you feel a little alone. I call it the abyss. It's when you're moving out of a place you used to be in, you're becoming a different person, and therefore you don't relate to the people you used to. You might not enjoy the things that you used to enjoy. Maybe things that used to give you energy no longer energize you. You might even find that you're not interested in the same shows. You're changing, and that's a great thing. You're expanding and you're stepping into the next level of yourself. There's this period, and again, I call it the abyss because you can't really see how you're coming out of it. You just know you're there. It sort of feels lonely because you don't relate to the friends that you once related to, and yet you haven't really found a new tribe. You of course you get along with people, and it's not that you're being judgmental, it's just you're becoming a different person. And I know that it can be lonely, it can feel confusing, and most people will end up defaulting back to their old self because that's what they know and that's what's comfortable. So I want you all to remember that your body and your mind are designed to keep you alive. So anything that you don't know, it recognizes as danger. So you might experience a lot of anxiety even during this time, maybe a little bit of depression. But what I want to talk about in this video are some methods that you can use to navigate this period and to make sure that you're coming out the higher level of yourself, not defaulting back to who you were or backtracking, but making sure you're leveling up and you're expanding into the greatest version of yourself. And this is going to happen multiple times in your journey. It's not like this happens one time and all of a sudden you've made it, right? We're always progressing and we're always getting better. And so if you get value from this, I would ask you to like and subscribe because it does help my channel, and it will also notify you when new content comes out. So this is my jam. I love talking about empowerment and expanding ourselves, moving to the next level, leveling up our lives. That's what this channel is all about. You also will find some cool training and nutrition tricks in here. So we talk about it all. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below if this video is resonating with you. And so let's just dive right in. And so let's talk about these tools, and I give 5 that are going to help move you through the abyss. And I want to preface this by saying that there's no set time period you're going to be in this. But knowing what to look out for and knowing what you're aiming for can be helpful and give you a little more direction. Because it's really easy to get isolated during this time. Because again, you're not relating to the people you used to relate to, and you really haven't found the people who you connect with on this level yet. And so my first guidance principle, I'll call it, is going to be to fill your mind with fuel. So fuel your mind, don't numb your mind. It can be really easy to want to just not feel because this in-between period gets really uncomfortable. So I recommend listening to things that are helpful. Tony Robbins was really helpful for me. And I know everyone's heard of him, but he's very positive, he's empowering, and he raises my energy. So I feel really good going into the day. So that's a much better thing to start with, as opposed to, for example, for me, before I was listening to like true crime and, spooky stories. That's what I used to like to do for fun. But it got to the point where that wasn't elevating me. It wasn't raising my energy for the day. And I was ready to step to the next level. So filling your mind with fuel. The other thing is being selective with company you keep. And this doesn't mean we're judging people or, we're seeing ourselves up here and them down here. The way I see it, all of us are just helping each other find our way home. Sometimes people aren't going to be on the same path as you, and most people are meant to be in your life for a period, and they're not meant to be there forever. So you'll notice that people who tend to be right where they were in high school, this isn't for everybody, but I just want to say they'll hang out with a lot of old friends. And there's nothing wrong with having old friends, but as you continue to transform and they can continue to transform, it is pretty normal for you all to kind of go your separate ways. You love each other from afar, but you're not on the same trajectory. And so what you need to do is become very intentional with who you're surrounding yourself with and pay attention to the energy. Do these people leave me inspired? Do I tend to talk about productive topics with these people? And do I feel like my best self around these people? And again, you're not judging them. It's just a matter of, are these people supposed to be close to me or not? And it's okay if your circle gets small. And if you're watching this, it probably already has. You probably don't enjoy keeping company with most people anymore because you're on a different track than most people. Most people live by default, and you're not living by default. You're living intentionally. So that means that your friendships are intentional. It doesn't mean that you have to be friends with only the most successful people you know, but you want to surround yourself with people who are trying to elevate their lives just like you. So be selective who you hang out with, and you don't always have to say yes. There are people with perfectly good intentions that I choose not to hang out with just because when I'm around them, you know, they'll tend to joke about things that I want to work on in my life. You know, if they joke about being really out of shape or they don't take anything serious, that doesn't really elevate me. That doesn't help me in my own life. And it's cool to joke. I love laughing. I'm a fun person. But I don't want to joke about things that are really important to me and that I'm planning on changing and actively changing in my life. So that's the difference. The next thing is so practical, and it's getting rid of clothes or belongings that no longer fit. You are transforming yourself. So if there is a t-shirt that you wore when you were in college hungover, get rid of it. It's not you anymore. If there's a mug that says something vulgar on it and you're a professional and you host people from your company at your house, get rid of your mug. And I'm not saying you have to lose your personality. If it still fits, keep it. You know, this is your design. So nobody's giving you rules around it. You get to design it. I'm just saying, ask yourself, does this fit with who I am, with where I'm going, right? Or is this kind of keeping me in my old identity? For me, it was clothes, you know, and I still, as you can see, I've got a hoodie on right now, a zip-up hoodie. I love being comfortable, but I've had to actively get rid of clothes that I wore when I was 16 because I'm in my mid-30s. I don't need to dress like I'm 15, 16 anymore. I want people to take me serious. I still love what I wear. I love it more, but I'm stepping into the next level of myself. And so remember, you're designing who you are. It's up to you. You choose your personality, you choose your identity, and so create it. Don't just wear things by default or hold on to, you know, collectibles by default. Always be intentional about what you're holding on to. Okay, the last one, well, there's two more, but this is the last one that you can really apply daily. Imagine what the highest version of yourself does with their free time. And just take a minute to really imagine that. So when you have time on your hands, and you do, you might tell yourself you don't, but you do. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some people just have the story that they're busier than other people. Ask yourself what that highest version of you would be doing with the free time they have. Would they be watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Or would they be reaching out to people and asking them how their week has been? That's just one example. So take that and fill it in with anything. It could be, is the highest version of me going to be sitting on the couch eating Cheetos? Or am I going to be at the gym working on getting healthier? So when it comes to free time or how you're spending your time, always ask yourself, what would the highest version of me be doing here? And you can use this anytime. So if you're in a conversation with somebody and maybe they're starting to disrespect you, that's a great opportunity to ask yourself, how would the highest version of myself handle this? I had to do this around family a lot because family has a way of really wanting to keep you where you are. And they get uncomfortable when you start changing a lot of times. So ask yourself what the highest version of you would do in these situations and do that. And then the last thing that can be really helpful that I've used through my whole journey of transformation is mentorship. So find somebody who has what you want and watch them and learn from them. How are they doing it? How are they handling things? None of your mentors that you go after are going to be perfect. They are all flawed humans. That's why you use a mentor, because just like you, they have their faults, they have their troubles. The thing is, they're further along in them and they have something extra that you want. So mentorship can be critical, and I always do better with a mentor. And I tell my ladies that I mentor, always follow someone who has what you want, but never put them on a pedestal and assume that they're perfect, because they're not. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. I'm going to stop there, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I have some really loud birds around me, so I hope you've been able to hear me over them. I love it, but they're very talkative. And so don't forget to like and subscribe if you did get value from this, and I will see you next time. Take care.